What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Go Fast action spawning in the red color, playing as Kronos. His name is ChronoJJ. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin. His name is OdinKing. OdinKing, the king of the Odins. ChronoJJ, the king of the cheese. Going in with that Kronos. Kronos has got a lot of sneaky things he can succeed with in this game. One of which is time shifting a dock from this location over to this location. Another one of these things is you can also put a dock on this location and time shift to here. You can also time shift from here to here. So with one pond, you've got a lot of shenanigans that you can do. As we are seeing ChronoJJ going to have to be a little bit cute about this. He doesn't have a close forest on this location that he's scouted. He hasn't scouted it as a close forest over there. Thank you for the Prime Smile video. Appreciate you, my friend, as we do see that deconstruction does end up coming down there. I've always thought in these situations here, the Oracle heroization is definitely an idea. Like, has anyone ever thought about Kronos delaying the dock ever so slightly with the idea of deconstructing a dock, heroizing the Oracle, and just winning the game straight off there? Is that an idea? Is that a strategy that would be completely broken against Odin? Obviously, Odin can wall in their Ulfsark and play around that ever so slightly, but considering you're delaying your opponent's dock by doing this, why not give it a go? I think it could be an idea. All you got to do is gather yourself, what would it be, 45 gold? And then you can go back to a normal thing. You just put the villager that comes out of here onto the gold mine, get the 45 gold, move over to the dock, chuck the dock down. Could be an idea. I'm going to have to try that at some point. This is why I love Age of Mythology. I love casting games. I get to come up with some stupid strategies just because I get to see all of the stuff that happens. Like, I just see it. I'm like, oh, you could try this. You could try this. And that's, honestly, that's my favorite part about mythology. Isn't necessarily like playing hyper efficient, not necessarily like all the micro that's possible. It's the strategy. There's so much fun stuff you can do in this game. As we are seeing OdinKing dropping his temple right next to his town, so they're going to be attempting to prevent that from getting deconstructed and making sure he gets out his free myth unit here. As the herdables moving around, checking everything out here. Nice usage of the Auroch on this position with that ox cart to get that beautiful amount of food income and wood income without the necessity of building a second ox cart there. Love that play from OdinKing. Good awareness. He's got plenty of goats here as well, which he can save and eat if he gets under pressure from ChronoJJ later in the game. Chrono does finish up with his fish over here. Unfortunately, it's a 5-fish map, which is less than ideal for the Atlantean player, but still not the worst thing in the world. And we are actually seeing Chrono here. He's going to be jumping onto those herdables. He's going to be advancing here. A little bit delayed. He probably wanted a 4-minute advance time here. So something went a little bit wrong here in the early stages of the game. And he's going to have to walk around and kind of fix that up as the game continues. But no real problem here thus far for ChronoJJ. Meanwhile, over here for OdinKing, he's still not advanced, but he has clicked up, and to me, this looks like a fairly decent advance time for this map. The only thing that's the problem here is that OdinKing's only got himself 4 fishing ships on this position. And we do indeed see a dock. That dock won't be able to be time shifted here. One dock goes down. I think that Chrono's going to be wanting to time shift over here. Oh no, he can time shift it onto this position as well. So he could put the dock here, or he could put the dock here as an idea, whichever one he feels like. He's got the Oracle not quite in position to make that happen, but he will be throwing this dock down as well as the docks are time shifting. Actually, he's not even going to time shift this one. This one's just for these fish. He can time shift this one where? Over here, I guess. Or over here as well. Lots of angles. You have to know your geography here in this one, as we are seeing the walls going up, the dock coming down on this position. ChronoJJ should be able to find that with the Promethean here, as it's going to be moving over to push the OdinKing Ulfsark away. No walls down just yet by OdinKing as he's retreating away, as we do see the Ursa coming in onto this position to try and take out that Promethean there. The Bream is down. One house coming down there as well, as the Promethean needs to retreat back for the time being, as the Oracle's going to come over onto this position. We are seeing some longboats coming out here, and the question is going to be, will OdinKing be able to hold this water or not, as he's currently looking like he's about to be housed here. The Ulfsark has to pull back. The longboat is out to push the Bream back here, as another Bream is getting trained up by ChronoJJ on this position. He's taken his time with this next dock, though, not really going up onto that top location just yet, as we see the deconstruction coming down as the Bream still pushing out here for Chrono. He's going to have to harass that Ursa to stop the dock from coming back up on this position over here. Meanwhile, we do see OdinKing going to be dropping a dock down on the bottom side of the map as well. Going to be potentially giving up on this position as the Bream's pushing through here. OdinKing trying to micro this one to the best of his ability. He is taking down those Prometheans nicely with his Ursa. But the Breams are out, and that's going to be those longboats both basically finished off here, you'd have to expect. And OdinKing losing this fishing location here as well, as we do see the dock gets time shifted onto this position. Will Chrono have the wood here to prevent this dock from going up? He doesn't see it coming up just yet, so it looks like OdinKing might be able to finish this one. There's still time here for Chrono to get his Breams out. Fishing ships have queued up onto this position as well, as OdinKing, he's in a tough position now. He is in a tough position, and we do indeed see that that Bream coming out. ChronoJJ doesn't actually know that there's a dock here, but it's going to be close. It looks like the dock will... Oh, God, it's really close. Bream is out. Ulfsark going to be getting harassed here by the Bream, and it does hit it, but the Ulfsark gets the dock up. Doesn't get distracted there by that little nick. They must have had passive stance on or something, or maybe it just missed or something, I don't know. But now the ChronoJJ units have to circle around to start dealing with that dock, as the longboats are going to be coming out here for OdinKing, as Chrono's going to have to pull back a little bit here. He doesn't want to lose those Breams all too easily just yet, as the fishing ships are almost all out. ChronoJJ in his main base has brought the temple back, trying to keep his citizen alive. Nice micro there from Chrono to take out the Valkyrie, as the villagers coming over onto the medium gold mine at this point. Nice job from ChronoJJ, as he can now move up to the top side of the map. Unfortunately, he doesn't abuse the time shift on the dock. He could have definitely done that here. It seems like he's forgotten that he's got this dock here that he can time shift onto this position, but the villager is here for the time being, so he can just throw the dock down nonetheless if he so chooses, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Full claim of nearly all three ponds, nearly all four ponds, excuse me, but 3 ponds is still a big deal here for the Kronos in this game, as the units are starting to move across the map, going to be attempting to take out some docks and everything else. The Breams are already in position here. Dock is up. Chrono's going to start pumping out those fishing ships there as well. And he even gets a Bream here to make sure he's defending that top location as well. I like that play. And we see OdinKing sneaking a dock down onto this position to start putting pressure onto ChronoJJ's water over. He hasn't reacted to this in the slightest just yet, as it looks like OdinKing will be able to clean this fishing spot up. Some walls coming up onto this position to defend. But Chrono, at this point, he has a little bit of a problem he's going to have to deal with, as we are seeing the raiding cavalry coming up onto this position, and Chrono has started his fishing ships out there as the longboats are coming out. And Chrono, he is going to be building himself his own Breams here. He's got the fishing ships already in position to kind of garrison, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. And he's got all of those oracles out to push in and take out that dock. So long as he garrisons the fishing ships, gets that dock fire, he should be completely fine to win these fights and take out that dock. And it does seem like that's exactly what he's going to be doing there, as OdinKing trains one fishing ship in an attempt to make ChronoJJ overcommit. But JJ here in this position, not going to be overcommitting, simply just allows the Bream to die, cleanly off that dock, no problems there, as the raiding cavalry searching around for things to take out here. And Chrono, he's able to start making those really, really strong Murmillos at this point without any real problem here. He could also start thinking about making himself go to the Heroic Age to get access to the Arcus, so he has a really, really strong unit composition he can make to deal with the to deal with the Odin here in the classical age by making Arcus, Murmillo, and things like that, as well as having Hyperion as the Murmillo defending on this position. Murmillo still getting created out of these military barracks for the time being, and he should be able to win this fight, but OdinKing retreating back. He's going to be able to get full HP on those raiding cavalry a little bit later, and we will be seeing a second town center coming up here for OdinKing. Will ChronoJJ be able to sniff this one out and put a stop to it or not is the big question here. As we take a look at the fishing ships here, he does have himself purse seen. Looks like Kronos overbuilt fishing ships a little bit on pretty much every single one of these locations here. He's got his fishing ships idled as well that he needs to sort out, as the man is simply just sitting in a defensive position, moving them around, making sure he's got all his villagers nice and safe, as the villagers now moving up onto a second town center. ChronoJJ getting himself his medium infantry to boot here, as the villagers coming up onto the elk on this position. Going to be a big help. Does OdinKing have himself hunting dogs? No, but it is being researched, as the ox cart moving up onto that position to help out as well. Raiding cavalry searching around for things to kill, but not going to be able to find all too much with the units in the defensive position. Would love to see a mana get time shifted onto these villages, and that's exactly what Kronos doing. He's got his medium infantry out now, and OdinKing going to have to retreat back. He does have a whole bunch of units here that he could utilize to push in onto this position and potentially slow this second town center of ChronoJJ down. So we'll see if that's what he's going to be wanting to do or not. But it looks like OdinKing is saying, no, 3 town centers, potentially rushing the Mythic Age here for a Ragnarok is a very strong way to play this. But that will be... There is a huge ability for ChronoJJ to counter that by simply just putting pressure onto the town centers himself and making sure he doesn't sit back and just allow OdinKing to just boom here. But the town center is coming up nonetheless. There's still plenty of goats left in the main base. There's even a hunt over on the back location as well, which OdinKing can eat if he does manage to find that. There's an armory going to be coming up as well for ChronoJJ. Watchtowers coming in to just make sure all of his citizens are nice and defended there from all these cheeky small raids from the raiding cavalry. As the units of ChronoJJ searching around for something to hit here. There are still 3 longboats on this position. So Chrono, he's not really going to be able to take this dock down all too easily. But we see Chrono, he's yet again going for these time shift shenanigans, not allowing OdinKing to have any support here on the fishing economy. After all is said and done, you can stop the time shift once, but can you stop the time shift twice? ChronoJJ says he's trying to dodge those longboat firing here. The Oracle does have focus, but 4.8 speed, not going to be enough to dodge the longboat. Nonetheless, it's got a track rating of 10 as well, so you literally cannot dodge those longboats. There's a fishing ship going to be coming in to this dock, following that up with some Bareem, as everything there has been absolutely thwarted by ChronoJJ. He's going to get that fishing ship into the dock to start hitting the longboats here, and then those Bareems are going to start immediately coming out as well. But the throw-in Axemen are here, and that's going to be enough to take out ChronoJJ's Murmillos. So OdinKing should be able to get his dock back up. But the Bareems, I mean, it looks like ChronoJJ is just going to go with the 1 Bareem. They're not going forward too much. Town Center coming up over here as well. Rhea on the way. Skadi also on the way here for OdinKing. So he's really not that far behind in terms of economy in this game. As a temple coming forward here, this is going to be allowing him to push forward. And Rhea gives a huge bonus to ChronoJJ in that either OdinKing has to say, no worries, have a Frost Giant, or he has to play with 0 Frost Giants. So obviously building 2 Frost Giants, if one gets traded, you can obviously be okay with that. But you basically need 3 Frost Giants out to 100% counter the trader God Power. As units pushing forward at this point onto this location here is the Bareems. There's 2 Bareems in here, as they're going to be popping out for the time being to try and take out those longboats here. The fishing ship needs to garrison. He's looking like he's trying to bait a little bit those longboats, as more Bareem's going to be getting trained here. He could definitely make himself like a siege ship or something, but not happening just yet, as we are seeing the fishing ship is managing to tank nicely for the time being there. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, a temple coming forward. The behemoth will be kept alive as the Frost Giant gets traded there. Units taking this fight nicely on this position. ChronoJJ is on both sides of the map trying to push forward. Another temple coming up over here as the Behemoth is going to be able to tear down that town center incredibly fast. It is such a strong building destroying unit. Kronos also getting himself that Salt Amphora upgrade to help boost his fishing economy through the roof, and OdinKing is forced to cast Frost at this point as a Hill Fort going to be coming up onto this position. Units going to be pushing through here for ChronoJJ to try and take out this town center as well, or at least hit the gold villages on this position. As OdinKing has found his hunt on the top position here, he should be able to find his way to the Mythic Age. The question is going to be, can he hold on to the land and deal with what ChronoJJ is going to be doing to him at this position? As now we see the dwarves turning around, taking the fight against those Murmillo heavy infantry is on the way, but it might be too little too late here as the longboats almost taken out. OdinKing's had to train a couple more of those longboats to defend here. As another Behemoth going to be moving through onto this location to take out the town center. If ChronoJJ micros this Frost Giant, he should be able to freeze the Frost Giant of OdinKing. As the Behemoths pop out, town center will be going down. As ChronoJJ gets that win there, but at what cost? As OdinKing here looks like he will be able to defend fairly simply after all is said and done, as the Behemoth going to get frozen there. He does pick the kind of low HP one there, as the other Frost Giant going after the other Behemoth should be able to deal with that one as well. No problems. Meanwhile, on this bottom side of the map, we see more military academies coming up here. No palaces just yet for ChronoJJ to make himself those destroyers to push through the town center, as the units here have to pull back. The town center going to be getting thrown back up as well. OdinKing at this point, he's only got this gold mine on the bottom of the map. He's got 1,600 gold left, which is enough for him to get a Ragnarok through here. Whether or not it's going to be enough is the big question. As the town center does come through, the villagers moving over onto the wood here. We don't see a market up just yet for OdinKing, as now the town center on the bottom side of the map is starting to get targeted down, as Chrono is doing a really, really nice job of changing the field of battle. The other thing is here that Chrono, I was going to say he can go through Atlas here with the ability to utilize that implode and potentially take down every single one of the human units of OdinKing. The heroes might stay alive, but taking all of those human units down could be a huge idea. The other thing is, though, with Helios coming in, there's a chance that this town center can get taken down with a vortex before the Ragnarok comes in, but it's going to be really, really close. As the Behemoth manages to take down yet another town center, ChronoJJ needs to pump units out at this point. He is in a very, very precarious position after all is said and done, as OdinKing is defending nicely, almost able to get himself to the Mythic Age. Click that Ragnarok. He's got himself 64 villages. Chrono does have himself 18 fishing ships, though, which is going to be really tough to put a stop towards there in terms of the economy which Chrono can get, as we see another Frost Giant getting converted here, as he hits the Frost Giants getting completely frozen on this position, as Chrono needs to pull back. And we'll see how things are going to go. There's no palaces set up just yet, as another Behemoth coming in onto this position to take out that hill fort and potentially take down the town center as well. We've got about 12 seconds remaining before ChronoJJ can actually start teleporting around the map and doing what he needs to do. But OdinKing, he's at 130 population at this moment, trying to get his town center back up. He's defending nicely. He's getting himself out those Huskar, which are going to be a really, really good defense against the Arcus. But Kronos microing nicely here with those Arcus, making sure he's targeting the right units here, as the... I don't know where the Hecagiganti is. There's the Hecagiganti coming out, as it's going to start being able to destroy everything in this position. But OdinKing is seconds away from being able to click Ragnarok. He doesn't need to click Ragnarok straight away. We do see the Vortex coming through. Where is he going with that Vortex, though? Oh, he's going right in onto this position with everything, it seems, as the Toxo... Not the Toxo, this is the Thrown Axemen getting bashed there by the Hecagigantes. All of those heavy Thrown Axemen getting taken down, and we do indeed see the Ragnarok being clicked by OdinKing. How are his armory upgrades looking? Non-existent. If there was a Kronos that could defend Ragnarok, it would be this Kronos. As ChronoJJ going to have to pull back. We see he's got upgrades from his town centers. He doesn't. He's got fortified town centers only, as the Heroes of Ragnarok are going to be rushing that one down as fast as he possibly can. A palace coming down onto this position. Looks like it's almost going to get up. The Heroes of Ragnarok going to be getting very close here. Chrono has not clicked the passive stance, but does manage to do so as the palace does end up coming up, and Fanatics are going to start pumping out here for ChronoJJ. They are the best unit you can use to take out these Heroes of Ragnarok as Atlantean, and that's exactly what he's going to be attempting to do. Meanwhile, Town Center and Palace dealing nice damage to these Heroes of Ragnarok. It looks like OdinKing's top assault will be dealt with nicely, as also the champion infantry comes through as the Rag hero is still pushing in. We are seeing a Vortex up to this top location to keep all of his units alive for the time being, taking down those Heroes of Ragnarok as best as he possibly can here. One way to kind of get max value out of your Vortex against the Ragnarok is you get your Gigantes out, you garrison all of your human units, you Vortex into your opponent's base with just a handful of units plus the Gigantes. The Vortex doesn't bring garrisoned units, and you should be able to hold on with the units in your, well, not necessarily hold, but at least kill off your opponent's town centers and cause a lot of problems, as we do see a dock coming up here. The Man of War coming in. This is a very, very rare unit. It's very bad. It only deals 25 hack damage and attack. It's not even a second, and it takes ages for it to shoot, but it does chain damage, so that's pretty good. And we see that OdinKing needs to start moving away from this position as the ChronoJJ units coming through here to start getting some good damage done. OdinKing does have 4 Ox Caravans and 4 fishing ships, as the villagers getting pushed off of the gold mine on this location. There's gold at the top side of the map here that Chrono could potentially go for. He's got himself a palace in his main base to help defend, as well as more Fanatics coming out. Manners have been getting taken out in this position as the Citizen gets chased down, gets frozen and taken down. This Citizen here does get taken down as well, not able to teleport itself into that palace. Watchtower's only up at this point for Chrono, but it might be enough as he's still sitting at 130 population compared to the 165 population of OdinKing, taking some nice fights with these units here as well. Armory coming down on this position as the villagers over here trying to keep themselves nice and safe. The ChronoJJ Citizen in this corner here, pulling onto the wood line there as he pulls back everyone. Meanwhile, on this top location, we haven't seen any attempt of ChronoJJ to grab gold there, but it does look like he's got 764 gold left in the bank here, which is going to be more than enough to reproduce his units. He does need to rebuild a manor, however, as these citizens look like they might be getting caught out trying to bring themselves back home, but it's not going to happen. Will we see a potential like transport ship or something coming out for ChronoJJ to try and hold on to those citizens, but not going to happen. Loses 4 Citizen here, it seems. The Man of War still coming in, getting some decent damage done from afar. The hardest part here for ChronoJJ is going to be able to be the problem with dealing with that Fire Giant, but guess what? He's got Trader. He can utilize the Trader to take that Fire Giant if he so chooses, but it seems like he wants to hold on to it just in case. There's a potential for a Frost Giant being made, which would be more value than a Fire Giant here, and taking the Fire Giant right now is just going to get killed off immediately. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, we do see some Heroes of Ragnarok coming through here to start harassing the dock here of ChronoJJ, as he's going to build the Beream out to get a little bit of damage done over there as well. Meanwhile, we see some units going up to that location. Chrono at this point, he's got himself 140 population of 140. OdinKing going to be rebuilding his villages here as best as he possibly can. But as this is going on, the Gigantes, they say, no, sir, you will not be allowed to have a town center on this day. Taking that down, slowing the villager reproduction down quite considerably. The Gigantes can also take out this market on this position, as well as the dock does end up getting taken out, but Chrono can easily time shift back onto that location as he builds a dock over here. He can do that if he so chooses, but we're just going to see him building the dock manually on the top side of the map nonetheless, as the OdinKing units coming back up onto this position, going to be trying to help control here as best as they can. But ChronoJJ 140 pop, OdinKing 139 pop. If Chrono wants to fight this, it would be time to start tradering the Fire Giant, but he's still holding on to that one as best as he can, pulling away from those Heroes of Ragnarok for the time being, as the villagers over here could potentially sneak this gold mine if they so chose. As the Rag Hero is moving through on this position, getting a little bit of damage done by that Palace there. The other thing Chrono could do is time shift the Palace onto the gold mine to help him out as well. As the Fire Giant moving through onto this position, still not tradering that. I've got very confused about that one as some citizens do get caught out here. Chrono going to be pulling away for that moment there as we do see the Fire Giant getting traded at that point there, stealing that one away from OdinKing as OdinKing villagers are starting to climb up in numbers, but the Heroes of Ragnarok are starting to dwindle here as well, as I think all the god powers are done except for one vortex here for ChronoJJ. So he's still got that ability to just teleport onto a gold mine and absolutely murder the re-economization of the Norse economy here out post-Ragnarok. As the Fire Giant goes down, army turning around, taking those Rag Heroes out yet again. The Rag Heroes at this point still don't have any upgrades in terms of hack to defend against those champion infantry units. So they're doing a lot of damage here in this game, as we do see a wall up on this position to defend the dock over here as well from Chrono. He can start thinking about putting maybe a palace down here as well to harass that market, control that town center, get himself back into this game completely, as the Hecagigantes moving in onto the town center over here to take this one down. It's only got 400 HP, and the Hecagigantes, while it does have the most DPS in the game, maybe, not sure, it does get taken out quite fast by Pierce, by Hack, only having 44% Pierce armor. As the town center getting close to falling, and we'll see who's going to win on that fight after all is said and done. As the Behemoth getting trained out by ChronoJJ, still doesn't really have that much gold at this moment here. As the Heroes of Ragnarok coming back up onto this position to try and take out the dock, the citizen gets cleaned up. One longboat coming through here as OdinKing wants to claim this fish for himself to help his economy come back in, as the wall's getting broken down over here as well. As those fanatics coming in to try and take out the Heroes of Ragnarok on this position. We'll see how they're going to be able to go, as Chrono does manage to take down the town center after all is said and done. A palace coming up over here. A wall is completed. Is that an opening or not? Sometimes it's hard to tell, as Chrono does actually just delete the wall segment. He's confident that that does cover that position, and I think he is right, as the Rag Heroes will have to break through. It looks like there might be an opening between the trees though over here, so he does come through as the palace going to be going up. Looks like that'll be completed. The market getting taken down though. That's going to put a stop to all that trade which OdinKing has been getting. It's not that big of a deal at this moment. There's only 6 of them, and it's only 11 gold to trade. So Chrono kind of alerting OdinKing to rebuild his market somewhere a little bit more efficient, as the Rag Heroes are getting a little bit annoying on this position, with Chrono wanting to push in and grab this town center for himself. We see 6 citizens moving forward. Look at the resources for ChronoJJ. He doesn't have full bronze full iron just yet, but he's got so many resources. He doesn't need to get anything except for the iron upgrades. He's got a lot of favor in the bank here to be able to take out that Fire Giant here as well. We'll see if he's going to spend those resources or not, as the town center coming up as fast as it humanly can with 6 villagers, but he can't take the fight with the Fire Giant. He needs an answer, getting himself Heart of the Titans here just to help him out ever so slightly at this point, as the town center gets denied. And we'll see if Chrono decides to try and grab that bottom town center here as well. Another option for ChronoJJ would be to just vortex onto this town center, take that one out as an option. But OdinKing now, 43 villages, 6 ox caravans. He's got himself 7 fishing ships as well. He is back into this game from an economic standpoint, but he needs to get himself those upgrades. So he almost needs to go up to something like 60, 70, 80 villages and just stay alive here. Whereas ChronoJJ, he needs to get that town center, and he's going to be going for this one on this position. We are seeing a villager will scout that out. Mana in position here for Chrono, as well as a champion fanatic to boot. As the villagers getting pushed off of this location, the Hero Momillo getting created to try and take out the Fire Giant. Will he be able to do so with 5 Hero Momillo? Takes 1 Fire Giant out. He's going to be going after the second one. Those Throne Axemen are doing a ton of damage. 4 Momillo heroes remaining here, as OdinKing decides to stop targeting those down, instead going after the villagers. But another Fire Giant has fallen there. Chrono's still got 38 favor in the bank. Selling food at this point would be a great idea for ChronoJJ, as he gets some Hero Arcus out to try and take out the Fire Giant even more. As more Fire Giant moving in onto this position, OdinKing's got 0 favor remaining, as Chrono heroizes yet another Mermillo hero trying to finish off these fire giants as this game continues. And OdinKing, 90 population of 130 remaining. We do see a mana coming in to try and block that fire giant in. The villagers getting sniped down there. Nice play from OdinKing, getting max value out of his fire giants, but it looks like they are going to be getting dealt with after all is said and done. And OdinKing now, he is 2 town centers against 3 town centers, with the 4th town center under the control of ChronoJJ. OdinKing got a mountain to climb in front of himself, making throw an axeman, making throw an axeman fire giants probably not even enough against what ChronoJJ has with all of the armory upgrades. He needs so many more resources to find himself in an equal position. After all is said and done, he needs to kill way more villagers than he has here. But he's moving in now. He's got those Ulfsarks still putting pressure onto this town center. Going to be preventing that one from coming up. ChronoJJ probably should consider putting a palace here at this moment. The Arcus unfortunately targeting down an armory of OdinKing. Chrono obviously valuing if he can take the armory out. That means OdinKing can't get himself armory upgrades, but he is throwing away a lot of resources here, finally deciding to retreat back as the Fnatic comes in, sees this position over here. If ChronoJJ can put a stop to this gold mine, it's game over for OdinKing, because that's the only gold he's got. We do see a market time shifting up to the top side of the map there to fix his trade route up as more villagers coming in, more units coming through to take out dwarves ever so slowly here. As the villagers getting pushed off of this gold mine yet again, but there's a plenty decent gold mine on this position, and I'm sure Chrono can just continue building himself those villagers out of his town centers as he's losing them at the top side of the map. It doesn't matter that much here as the Mermillos about to take out this position. The hill fort coming up, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. These Mermillo are going to be more than enough to take that one down. Meanwhile, OdinKing is able to get himself the town center started, but will he be able to get that one out or not is the big question. Is that fire giant getting some decent damage done from afar? The hero Mermillo coming in as OdinKing going to be turning around, targeting those down as best as he possibly can to keep that fire giant dealing decent amounts of damage here. But it looks like the fire giant here is maybe getting a little bit too preoccupied with that hero Mermillo as he's getting a lot of damage done onto those dwarves, and OdinKing has to retreat away. He does have that trade route in the corner, but that's going to be the next port of call. This gold mine over here also going to be going down relatively quick as the throw and axeman coming over here to try and deal with the Mermillo on that position. As Chrono pushes forward to deal with this as best as he possibly can here. 2 citizens sitting idle for the time being in the manor with the coinage coming through for ChronoJJ to help that economy muster into something huge here as a military barracks coming up. Those throwing axemen are doing some decent damage versus the Fanatics, but honestly, even at this point, the Fanatics, they are better than throwing axemen. If you think about the damage that they do, I mean, I don't see a Fnatic here, but the throwing axemen are dealing 125% bonus damage versus the Fanatics only. So like 13, call it 13 damage against the Fanatics. The Fanatics have got themselves 15 damage and they do 100% bonus damage. So they're doing 30 damage a second versus those throwing axemen. 30 versus 13. So yes, there's range advantage. So long as you sit back, you can be fine. But if the Fanatics get onto those throwing axemen, which is very possible, they absolutely chew through those throwing axemen. As we see the units coming through yet again, preventing that town center from going up. The Behemoth going to be able to come over here and potentially take down this dock on this position as well to take even more of OdinKing's economy out here. As the ChronoJJ units pushing in to try and take down more of those thrown axemen, preventing the resources from coming in as best as he possibly can here. OdinKing does have himself 831 gold at this point, and now's the time you want to actually start using that late game Kronos we talk about. What's so good about Kronos in the late game as opposed to Uranus? Uranus does have the sky passages, but Kronos has got time shift, and time shifting towers while building towers in an area is so strong. Not only is it free for you get basically free towers because you've got these set up in your base that you don't really need, but we do see OdinKing tapping out but to finish the point. But you also get more stuff coming up onto a position much faster, and it can be a really, really tough thing to deal with once you've got the economy to make it happen. And ChronoJJ, he's about to have that economy here to start those time shifts going brutally to cause problems for OdinKing. GG, well played by ChronoJJ. He came into this map with a plan, and he managed to make it work really, really nicely here. I do think that Odin in this map, basically against not against ChronoJJ, but against Kronos, the best option is to do some sort of a Heimdall rush. If you advance at 430 like OdinKing did here, and you go for a Heimdall rush onto this town center, if the Kronos decides to go for the water like ChronoJJ did here, yes, he will win this water, but he will lose his town center. And he's going to lose a lot in that town center as well in terms of the citizen that are going to fall and everything else. And then it becomes a wild hunting race to try and find those citizens. You can also build a dock up on this position to get that there. You can try and build your docks up onto your opponent's water. I think this map is a lot more interesting than I think a lot of people give it credit for, in terms of I can sack that water to do this, as opposed to, say, on Anatolia, where if you're trying to sack one side of the water, chances are that's not actually going to give you an equal position, whereas this map is very, very different. I'd love to see the developments on this map as this tournament comes along. We've seen this Kronos come through quite a few times on this map now, and having some success. People are going to have to figure out how to beat that. We'll see if that's going to happen in the playoffs or not. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.